Good morning and Happy New Year to everybody. He's Anthony, I'm Andy, and it's the first Talking Horses 2023, first of many Talking Horses of 2023.
We hope, yes.
We're not expecting to have a lot of them.
Yeah, we are. I mean, just
I mean, I'm not sure where that's going, but
make sure we get through the
it's the first
year.
of many Talking Horses of 2023.
Happy New Year, Andy.
He's Anthony, I'm Andy, and yesterday racing was canceled by the stewards, saying this fog was too severe. So we are back in action today. The pick six obviously didn't come into play yesterday with only 2 races being run, so it was refunded yesterday. The carryover, $22,612, mandatory payout on today's card.
And for those of you
Race
asking,
4.
there's no mandatory payout for the pick fives today because there was not a. That's not how it works.
You make a great point.
Because a couple of people asked that. Don't be confused. That pick six carryover.
Somebody actually asked that?
I had a couple of people ask that.
Really?
Yeah.
How do they do when they have to actually make decisions for themselves and lives that require more than
don't know.
no thought at all?
I don't know.
They think it was Thursday, February 7th when we were going to have the
yeah.
mandatory? So
It's not a Thursday, but yeah.
people,
I mean,
whatever. People ask the nuttiest questions.
Yeah. It was a.
Anyway, we'll get away
Whatever.
from that insanity. But we will tell you to go to Naira Bets. It's mandatory. It is mandatory you go to Naira Bets, for those of you wondering. Use the promo code MATCH200. We will match the $200 of your initial deposit. Play through Naira Bets. Support racing in New York. Maybe
There it
time to
is.
move on from American Revolution. Is he retired or is... I don't think so. I haven't heard anything. He's not a
think he's-
gelding, is he?
I don't believe so. But WinStar, he's got the grade 1. Maybe he is retired. I don't know.
Just never hear anything about him, right? I haven't heard a
No.
thing about him since he ran second in the Gold Cup. Not, have you?
No.
Anyway, pick six, we mentioned, mandatory giveout, payout.
You would think Pegasus is something
22,612.
he would think about too, right?
No, he's just not in training. I don't think he's been in training for a long time.
Oh.
It's going to be cyber. Well, I think big figure yesterday for Skippy Longstocking and winning the Harlan's Holiday. If you want to buy into those kind of numbers, he's probably the favorite. They're going to get 106 buyer in that race. Seemed a little on the high side for the other players. Seemed like some big numbers at Gulfstream yesterday. We'll see how that plays out over time. Middle pick 4, race number 3.
Yep.
Pick 4s in races 2, 3, and 6. Travis, see you later. It was great seeing you. Have a wonderful New Year's. We'll see you upstairs later. You got that shot right? Yeah, it's a good thing. He saved the day the other day from the worst shot in camera history. Who do you think set that shot up, by the way?
I don't know how that
That's really the question.
How does that happen?
I don't know. Must have been whatever environment is in here, because there's something going on in the studio. January 1st, here it is, 2:30 to 6 o'clock. The first of many. 210, I think, was the number of shows we said last year. You missed the champagne toast. We mentioned you. You were asked.
I
where
ate
you
the
were.
pizza.
Yeah, that's right. You did a piece of pizza out from Ray Handel. So if somebody ever says to you, has Ray Handel ever bought something for anyone, you can say, I know he bought something for the Big A and for Andy, and we shared it with the TV crew, who's appreciative, by the way.
Yes.
Anyhow, we're ready. We're ready to roll.
Here we go.
Race number
First
uno.
race of the year.
A little bit of funny is scratched out of race number 1, and you have gone to Steerage, who's taking a lot of money early.
Yeah. Steerage.
This horse will be favored. It's not a correct morning line. This horse
He'll be favored. He'll probably be in front. He'll have to deal with Clash AJ for a little while.
It's actually a
I
good
would
scratch
imagine.
for him. I don't think it's deal with Class AJ. It's a good scratch for him. 2 is potentially the other speed in this race to deal with. He'll be in front now.
Yeah. Steerage will be in front. See, the track is labeled as sloppy. It did rain here till about 11:30 last night.
It rained until 11:30?
About that.
It never was really raining hard yet.
But
Did it
it
rain
rains, it was
harder
steady.
later? Because it never, I mean, like when I left at about 5 o'clock,
Mom
it was
popped her head out the
nothing
window
there.
getting the champagne toast ready for midnight. It was like, oh, it's raining outside. And I looked out the window and it was
I
raining.
heard some rain in my apartment, like later in the night. Not a little harder than the...
I'll be honest, I was a little surprised at the sloppy track.
This track was fast yesterday.
Yeah. But
As usual, I had a few nitwits on Twitter, fast, like it was a joke. And
no,
the track was perfectly
all
fast.
every bit of fast yesterday.
Because people, and I understand why it's deceptive, when you watch some of the camera shots in the paddock, it'll look like it's raining hard, but it's a two-dimensional situation.
Correct.
And sometimes you'll see one
Be
shot.
very careful. Sometimes it looks like it's snow and it's 60 degrees
Sometimes
outside.
it looks like it's raining hard, and then you see a different shot,
Yeah.
and it doesn't look like it's raining at all. So we never really got that much rain in the afternoon. If we had, it probably would have cleared up, though it was 100% visible 15 minutes after we canceled yesterday. I prefer the number 6 Silent Running in this race. This horse is pretty good, and I think it would just be so 2022 to 23 for Heman Harkey to be the leading rider for one race. This horse's 2 dirt races will probably win this race, and I know the 3 has a pace advantage, which I do not disregard. But this horse ran against horses that are absolute killers, and actually didn't run that badly first time out. Was on a dead rail in the February 5th race. So we had a dead rail on February 5th, and we had a bit of a trip where he didn't run badly against a very good field first time out. This horse raced against real horses. I'm not really sure why they got so obsessed with continuously running this horse on turf, and he didn't run that badly. But this is exactly the kind of race he belongs in, and he's the best horse in the race. I think Silent Running's supposed to be the horse to beat in the first. We'll see how it plays out. Quackenbush. Which Marx Brothers movie is that?
Not sure.
Dr. Quacken? Johnny I would know. Johnny I was here, a big Marx Brothers fan like I am. It's not Monkey Business. Monkey Business? Might be Night at the Opera.
know.
Gotta have to look that up during the next video. I meant to look it up and then I totally forgot. But it's definitely a Marx Brothers reference, I assume. It's the pedigree. Race number 2, Joey Freshwater winning down at Churchill Downs. I think will be a heavy favorite. I think you'll agree, and I think he's a very likely winner here. It seems like Linda's getting a much different result from the nobody's
Yes.
laughing at her from going to Churchill this year, are they?
No,
She wasn't wrong to do it last year. It just didn't work out. Just because things don't work out doesn't mean it's a bad move.
Yeah, big difference. This was galloped last time. It was over a sloppy sealed track, so he has the experience on the wet track. That Fig last time puts him right on the money with the horse I put on top of here, the 2 Swifty Devil.
Wait a second. Just to
What's up,
digress, it says that, and what? So Michael Spillane, that's not Mickey Spillane.
Mike Hammer?
It's not Mickey Spillane, because this guy was born 46 years ago. Mickey Spillane's whatsoever. He was known as a professional wrestler, Mike Quackenbush. How do you not know this? How do you not get the professional wrestler? This is an embarrassing moment for you.
Wait,
on
hold on.
Shade
Give
Race.
the speaker, Mike Spillane?
Well, I looked up Quackenbush. The first one that came up is Mike Quackenbush. It says a ring name, professional wrestler. He's retired, but you've been following.
Never heard of this guy.
This is very. I tell you what, I don't know if it's worse for the show or it's worse for him. I mean, if he finds out the Big A doesn't know who he is,
No
he's going to have to
idea who he
rethink
is.
his entire professional
You're gonna
wrestling
come over
career.
and give me a cottage
Anyhow,
or
you're
something?
trying to beat this horse with Swifty Devil. We'll show you Swifty Devil's race at Laurel last time, and you could tell us why you're trying to beat this horse.
I didn't want to take Linda at a short price, and that horse is going to be a short price. I just saw Swifty Devil improved a lot with the blinkers last time. I don't love this horse, but I think he'll be a much better price than Joey Freshwater. So I just put
The
this one on
problem with
top.
this horse is he's a one-number horse. The good news about his one number is it makes him very tough in here. But I just don't know what to do, and it's a 5.5 furlong race. And, you know, this is something we discussed about that horse yesterday at Oaklawn. 5.5 furlong, one-number horses can be a little bit tricky.
He was terrible, huh?
And that's why, you know, not a big surprise. But by the way, it's got to be the Marx Brothers, because it's his character of the day at the races. It's Groucho Marx's character of the day at the
I
races.
didn't know enough. I was going to assume that it would be a day at the races as he's a
well, you
horse.
could have said it.
I didn't think it needed to be said.
No, I was guessing on other shows, and you didn't say it. Anyhow, I get it. Swifty Devil's race last time was good. I'm not going to argue it. I just have a little bit of an issue with the fact. But the one thing that's interesting is it was a complete and total form reversal, because not only did the horse run a lot better, though it did run well when he broke
He had
his
the one
maiden.
race in the maiden
Well,
race, yeah.
One thing they got back to was they got back to going to lead with him. And they got back to being aggressive. And I don't know if he can outrun Lars, but you got to think that Eric's supposed to try to be aggressive with him, right? I mean, it seems like the best. You look at the 2 best figures he ever ran.
You would hope.
Were 2 times he was aggressive, and I
hope.
think that he's just a better horse when they're more aggressive with him.
Agreed.
So, I mean, I think the point with him is to try to go. And listen, I get it with Joey Freshwater. Didn't run a big fig first time, dropped down and ran a huge number. You don't know what he's going to run, but boy, Linda's horses have run very well.
They have.
I just didn't really want anyone else here. I mean, Bobby the Tank is just sort of okay. He was kind of second by default last time out. And I just thought one of these 2 horses would probably prove the right one.
Agreed.
You know, I think the public will agree with us. The ladies. Might be time to say farewell to the ladies. It was once an important race, but like many once important races, it's one of the oldest stake races run in America, right? It's up there. It's like the top 3 or
You
something.
have a program?
Anthony,
I think
think of who you're dealing with.
I want to go with 128.
Not even close.
More?
You got two of the letters right. It's not 180. 152.
Wow.
Could it be the most?
Well, in America, possibly.
Should we
North America, it's
should we
the
have
Queen-
hats?
North America, it's the Queen's
ladies,
plate.
152.
North America, it's the Queen's plate. Which
it the King's plate
Because
now?
now will be the King's plate.
Is it going to be the King's plate?
I would imagine.
Do you think Charles is going to come?
Negative.
You don't think he's big on Woodbine?
I don't think a late August move to Woodbine is because they moved it. I don't know if they didn't move it back after the COVID. They
The
left
last
it in August.
time the Queen was there.
No idea. No idea.
Yet
That's
no-
the longest.
yet
That's getting
another-
to 160. I think the Phoenix.
Another racing fan lost in 2022,
Yeah.
the Queen.
I think the Phoenix is up there.
Do you watch The Crown?
I don't.
There's some good race stuff. There's great stuff in this. I don't think I'm giving away. It's been out long enough. It's not that big a deal. Where there's a whole episode they're talking about getting a satellite dish, and she's excited because she realizes that she can get the races.
Wow.
And they're showing, I think, the Thunder Gulch Travers with Durkin calling it in
95.
the background.
Really?
But she's putting it on, and basically I think she says to, I think it's William, to just get the racing channel on or whatever. She says some comment like, I'll just be watching the racing channel or something, which is awesome. Anyway, the ladies, yeah, listen, I remember a running of the ladies either in the mid to late 80s or early 90s. It was like one of the last grade ones that run all year. It was run after the Breeders' Cup. It was like a field of 12 or 14. It was still a mile and a quarter back then. I mean,
Right.
shows how
before-
the game has
right
changed.
before Christmas.
One of the bigger changes in the game is, especially filly and mare. We used to have so many of the big races. I mean, all of these grade ones, and they would get big fields. And I realize the whole thing has shrunk, but boy, the filly and mare races, and they stay in training, but they just don't get supported the way they used to.
No. And the grading system is kind of.
Well, I mean,
we had the monopoly on the graded races for the most part, and then
not always. There were big races out west that they're still leading grade ones, and here's
Yeah.
they reduced them.
Ridiculous.
But it's a different set of rules for different people. Anyway, a different way of grading, I should say. They pretend they're the same rules, but they're not. It's obviously on paper. There's two major players in here. I mean, it's not to say that somebody couldn't possibly upset them, but we'll start with Battle Blig. This is the turn back the alarm. She did kind of break slowly in the slop last time, get bumped, and she never got in the race
Nope.
last time. She's better than that. I just,
they kind of knew a little bit too, Andy, last time, 7-2.
what price was she supposed to be?
Well, I thought she was supposed to be a little lower than that.
Really?
Turn back the alarm win, no?
Oh, no, I didn't like her at all last time, so no.
I don't think I preferred her either, but you didn't think she was a little dead on the board?
No,
Okay.
I don't know. Why was she supposed to beat Dr. B or Banksting? Didn't you pick Banksting?
I did. That's what I said. I didn't prefer her that much, but I thought that she,
No.
off the career best, I thought she would be better a little bit.
She's nostalgic. Came back and ran terribly. No, she's okay. And listen, Rob Actress is one of those runs right now where his horses are running off the screen. He won with one of the more improbable winners
That's why I
of the
picked her
meet.
over- that's why I
the
picked
year
her-
yesterday with
that's
laughter.
why I
don't
picked
know
her over Falcon.
Where her 71 buyer came from. It certainly didn't come out of her
Yeah.
PPs. So he isn't one of those. And Rob's one of these guys. He'll have that run for a few weeks here and there. And he's in a good run. And I'm not in love with Falconet. We'll show Falconet finishing second, the horse 63. Caliber, the horse of Tom Ames, who beat her last time. She had a fake stumble at the start last time. It didn't really hurt her particularly. But she ended up chasing wide in the first turn last time and wasn't able to get to the front. And I just think in this race, it's up to Jose to just gun from the gate and just put her in the lead. She's faster than these horses. And I think he's supposed to just try to wire the field.
Got to get around them, right? Got to try and get around.
It's not a big field.
No, it's not a big
Got to
field.
go with her. Got to go with her. Be
Yeah,
aggressive.
got to go.
Got to
Especially from the draw. It's not a big field, but you also don't want to get stuck 3-4 wide on the turn.
Is that race run at 3 in the morning? September 24th, one of those middle of the night cards. They haven't had that yet. They have to have a middle of the night card there, Churchill.
They don't do it.
They're getting there.
I don't think they did it at Windsor Raceway last night, but more often.
They used to have the first race at midnight?
The last race of the year, and then the first race of the year. Yeah,
Oh, the end of the card was after that? I like that.
yeah. They used to have the last race and then the first race of the year. There was nothing on social media about it, so maybe they stopped doing it.
When I was a child, and there were wolves in Syracuse, as my father used to say, I used to wish they'd run like a middle of the night card serial harness. It didn't really occur to me there were people that actually worked in the backstretch at that time in my life. I just thought the horses magically sort of appeared, Didn't really occur. And I always thought that would be really fun.
I
if
think
they
you'd
had
have
like a
more people.
4 a.m. card or
But I
something.
think you'd have more people be okay with it than not. I think
well,
they would think it would be fun. It would
4
be a
a.m.
different-
card, they get up anyway.
Yeah,
They get up
right.
at middle of the night
Exactly.
anyway.
They
so
can earn at least.
you
They
got
can
the
earn a
money,
little
yeah.
more at least. They got to run a horse. Get a $50 bill.
Just as a, like a weird thing, where the card begins in the dark and it ends as the lights come up in the morning. One of those things. I don't know. Just to.
There's a golf tournament in Scotland during the summer.
Right.
Summer solstice.
Solstice.
They play. It's a 3-day tournament.
How late does it stay light
It stays 24 hours.
in Scotland?
As it's
that
north
far?
of there's a point in Scotland for 3 days where it's light.
Really?
For 3 days, yeah. The
Well, I
northernmost
think it's
part
a
of
good
Scotland.
thing that racing never does anything creative because
Please.
everything we're doing works so well. Why would anyone try to be creative?
Can you
Racing,
imagine how much fun we'd have here at 3 in the morning? You have no idea how much fun we'd have here. I would guarantee.
Well, you live across the street, so it's a
fun
little
at 3 in the
easier for
morning.
you.
You stay in the spare room.
I have been up to 3. Some I can't fall asleep, but it's not like the old days.
Purposely
I
up
used to
till 3.
regularly be
Yeah.
up at 3 a.m. Race number 4 kicks off that pick 6. The carryover $22,612 with a mandatory payout in race number 4. And that was one of the trickier races in the card. And we'll start by showing Glory Road and Lafitte's Fleet. I really wanted to show Glory Road, but I figured I'd use the last race this horse, and it includes Lafitte's Fleet, who won his last race here at Aqueduct on a muddy Harrow track. This is the last race for Glory Road in May. So you got a horse that runs second. 2 races in a row, he ran well, got a huge pace to close into 2 back. And he has a claim voided for $40,000, and now he comes back. But they're using the waiver coming off the layoff for him, the freebie. I don't like Glory Road. I think he took advantage of advantageous circumstances in the races that he ran well. I don't think he's going to necessarily get as strong a pace to run at today. I don't trust him off the layoff. Barnes not exactly setting fire. They were kind of hot at that time, right at the beginning of the Belmont Meet, as I think you probably remember. Sure. You like Lafitte's Fleet. I don't particularly like this horse. I didn't think he was really good enough, but I'm not going to knock anybody in this race.
Yeah, I had a little bit of a tough time with this race, and
So you landed the favorite?
I ultimately landed on Lafitte's Fleet. Yeah.
Is he going to be the favorite over Gemography?
So I'm very curious.
I don't think he is. I don't think
I
he's right.
believe Gemography will be ridden for speed. Now, he's not anywhere near as fast as Prisoner.
He's not that fast.
Well, he's not that fast, but
he'll
his
be forward.
success has been forward.
He'll be forward. No, it hasn't. No, that's not true.
His recent success has been
Well,
forward.
one of them was a mile race again, and a no-pace
But the
race.
3/4 of a mile race back at the Belmont at Aqueduct meet, he was wire to wire.
Yeah, it was just no pace in there.
I feel like his better races recently.
He's not as fast as
have
Prisoner,
been
but
he's
he will
nowhere
be
near
sitting
as fast,
second.
but
to
he's
him.
got to be forward.
Yeah, he should be sitting second or
And
third,
hopefully
depending
he
on
puts
whether he
enough
can.
pressure on a horse. Now look,
He can't put pressure on Prisoner. He's not fast as him. I'd be more concerned with Roy Reed Can.
Reed can too. And that's what I mean.
He has
To me,
back
there's
races
enough
where he's
peripheral
fast.
speed in here where hopefully it sets up for Lafitte's Fleet.
Yeah, I don't. You believe that there's speed in races that I don't believe exists. And not that he can't win. He's not impossible in here. I mean, I didn't particularly like the inside 2 horses. After that, I didn't have a strong feeling here. We'll look at Gemography's last race. Gemography's last race was an absolute they knew. The idea that he was only 3-1 in this race, and listen, you liked him and I liked him. It's not like we didn't like him and we're shocked that he won, but this was a real they knew. And now he's off the claim and he's running against better horses. I don't have a big problem with him. He had the good Gemography, refining the form for Rudy. He can certainly win this race. I just don't totally trust him, and I don't think you do either. You might have picked him on top.
No, I don't completely trust him.
As far as Prisoner was in a completely different world of race last time. He was dueling last time in a race that fell apart, running against the likes of Sheriff Bianco and King Angelo. The time before that, he was trying to go 7 furlongs. He was involved in that pace that fell apart with Expressman. The pace was streamed. And the pace scenario is significantly different here. And this is the kind of horse that I like to bet on. Just a horse that's been in impossible spots that can be the speed. I will say, though, I have absolutely no trust whatsoever for this horse.
Of course
I don't
not.
think it's possible to trust this horse. I just didn't like anybody else really. I'll tell you what, I don't think that Craig is right that Reed Can is going to be 15-1. Maybe I'm wrong. Why is he a huge price in this race? He's got plenty of races
the
to
claim
give him
from
a chance.
Asmussen.
But he was originally with Cantramachi.
With Cantramachi, yes,
So I
know.
think it's a good claim. I love that they reclaimed him. I like they reclaimed him. They bring him back off a little bit of a freshening and they move him up. I mean, they're not looking to dump him.
No.
So I don't know. They've had success in the past. I think he's interesting at a price here. I thought the shot with putting him on top. I don't think he's going to be 5-1, but he's not going to be 15-1. Do you think he's really going to be that
No,
big
he
a
shouldn't
price?
be. And he shouldn't be.
8 to 10.
He won't be the longest shot on the board.
Right. He's not even. And he's got him twice the price, the second longest shot.
You know,
Tough to make.
the only horse I wanted to mention very quickly, and we'll move on.
Go on.
The rail horse. I don't know where that race came from last time, but this
I
is
have an idea.
but this is okay. But this is a barn where sometimes these horses run races where you don't know where they came from.
Yes.
And then they do it again. Yep. And he ran against.
He ran. I still think he has to run better than he did last time to win here, but he ran a big
probably
buyer
does,
big.
But that race from out of nowhere, that horse is going to ship in here, and this is not the most trustworthy bunch.
It's in a restricted race for a quarter last time. I hear you.
I know everything
no,
you're saying.
I know. These guys, the guy is sneaky. I get it.
I'm not going to let that guy come in here and beat me at 1560.
I think he'll be bigger than that, but.
He might be.
So
listen,
race
if you're
number
right, they have to kind of switch prices.
Rate number 5 is kind of a joke at this point. I was going to try to beat O'Trouble, was never going to be 3-1, was always going to be about 6-5 in here, and now he's going to be about 3-5 or 4-5. I mean, we'll show his last race. Without the 5 in there, who the heck are they going to bet in here? I hate to say it, but Ballydooley is not going to be 50% higher in price than this horse. It's going to be 3 times the price of this horse.
Yeah, this is
a joke. I mean,
the pick 6. If you're playing the pick 6 today, which should be,
I'm not going to object somebody tries to beat this horse, and I don't think you are either. But I don't love him, and I wanted to find somebody else. But this horse is the single.
If you look through the rest of this sequence, you can tell me there's
people
somebody
are playing
you feel
with
more.
that don't have big bankrolls. They're going to have to lean on this horse.
You're betting a $48 ticket, and you tell me
horse.
you're not singling this horse. I don't know where you're singling.
Unless you've got some other idea and you want to do, which is fine.
And that's great.
But for the majority of people, this is the lean. This is horses without Mitres Porciento in here.
Yeah.
Who wasn't going to be favored in the first place. This horse was always going to be favored.
This horse was always going to. I thought this horse was always going to be favored. Yes.
Coming off 85 and 30. And Mitre Porciento wasn't reliable, which is probably one of the reasons he scratched today.
Not really much else to say. I don't even know. We both have Caribbean second off a series of mile and 2-turn races, cutting back to a sprint.
I like that. He would be my backup. I agree.
He would reluctantly be mine too at this point, but I'm not going to have one.
You know, Maddie Oliver, 10-pound bug rider, won 2 races in her first 30 or 40 races. Not bad. But that horse made a lot of sense.
I know. Cutting back.
Yeah. Run off last time. Anyway, late pick 4. Quick break. We'll be right back.
For almost 150 years, the Saratoga name has been synonymous with the finest quality, sustainably sourced spring water available anywhere. Saratoga carries on the rich tradition of its forefathers by crafting each stunning blue glass bottle with the same attention to detail and care that has been its hallmark for generations. Visit SaratogaSpringwater.com today or ask for us by name at your local market or restaurant. Saratoga Spring Water. Make every day exquisite.
We are remiss in not thanking our sponsor at Saratoga Water, and Anthony and I have piled up on the side of our desks a plethora of Saratoga water bottles, and we were pontificating as to when they'd be removed from the studio, and the best guess we have is whenever Aqueduct eventually closes. Sounds about right.
I think we should I think at this point we just leave them.
I agree.
See what happens.
I love them. I love the blue bottles. The blue bottle's distinctive wherever you go. Race number 6. This is the race of the day, maybe the race of the year, week. I mean, somebody is going to exit this race no longer a maiden. Mostly harmless, I'm assuming.
It's a scary thought.
Even this one you got this one as the morning line favorite. We'll look at the last race. But man, you're dealing with a horse that's 0 for 18. In fairness, only 0 for 10 in the
only
dirt.
10, right.
I guess this last race makes him worse to me.
Problem with only 10 is most of the turf figures are faster than the dirt figures. Yeah, I'm just not going to put this horse on top. I'm going to go find some fuzzy somewhere, and maybe the fuzzy's ridiculous, but if this horse runs the race he ran last time, he's probably going to be tough.
He's the horse to beat. He ain't an awful lot of the horses.
Yeah.
Okay.
You
didn't misnumber this race. You picked Lord Hear My Prayer.
It's all numbered correctly. I numbered it correctly.
Based on what?
I was looking for a little bit of a fuzzy. I'm just
Okay,
hoping the
based on
I'm
what?
just hoping the cutback wakes his horse up a little bit. The race two
Versus
back.
run shorter, though, and not run a step.
Yeah, I know. 2 times before a 6-month layoff early on in his career without Lasix.
First ran 6 furlong street
career.
races back and didn't do any running at 50, 60 to 1, 40 to 1. Well, there's got to be something about this horse you like.
I was not going to pick.
But what do you like about
I
it?
just told you I like the horse cutting back, and I'm hoping the horse a little more forward, like he was 2 starts
But his
back.
6 furlong races, the worst races he's run.
They were without Lasix, and they were a year.
No, they weren't. No, they weren't.
Oh, the 1 6 furlong race, 3
right,
starts
the one,
back.
three months, less than 3 months
Let
ago.
me ask you a question. Compared to the field that he ran against that day.
He'll be 5th in here if he runs that race. Yeah, I don't disagree.
Okay.
I mean, fine, and he's not going to be the 6 to 1 morning line. That's preposterous. But okay.
He's going to be less, right?
No,
You think he's
it'll be
gonna be
15 to
more?
1. Who? Well, what?
Who are they going to bet, Andy?
They're going to bet the 2, the 4, and the 6.
Okay.
And they're not bet. I don't. You haven't given me a reason to like him. I'm not trying to give you a hard time, but you haven't said anything that makes any sense. He ran a 6 furlong race and he ran like garbage.
I think he ran against a much better bunch of Big Bean and Christine came back to win twice. I think
But
he ran against
the
a much
same
better
terrible
field.
figures he ran.
Yeah, I know he did. But I'm not going to take a horse like Mostly Harmless, who's going to be 8 to 5 at 0 for 18. I'm not going to take, no offense, the horse you put on top for a barn that won 2 races last year, and this horse runs 1 dirt race. I mean, this horse
There is a
got beat
difference with this
40
horse
lengths.
and the other horses, though. He hasn't run that many races on the dirt. That was only his 4th career race on the dirt.
But it followed a race that he ran 21 days earlier, where he got beat 40 lengths.
He finished a length behind a horse that your horse finished 6 lengths behind.
I got it. He's also got a cutback too.
Well, I like cutbacks.
She's gonna be, but she's gonna be a fraction of the price.
What's the morning lines? Well, she should be a fraction of the price, Anthony. She ran a race last time that would win it. You don't have to like her to run back to her last race, but if she runs her last race, she's a fairly likely winner this
runs
race.
her last race, she's gonna win. Yeah.
The 2 can beat her, but it's close. Whereas your horse, God bless you, maybe she'll win. I don't know. I mean, I'm not going to make a big
No, she
stand.
needs to-
But
my
yours
horse
has
needs to
never run a
improve.
race that's within
My horse
6
needs
to
to
8
improve.
lengths
I
of
know my horse
anybody
needs
in
to
here.
improve.
Okay.
I know my horse needs to improve. But we're talking about the bottom level maiden claimers here.
I don't think
where
Affalata's impossible in here, but has also had many
I'm
chances.
sick of her story. Her
Yeah, it was a
story
frozen
too,
track
right?
when she bombed at a short price last time. So whatever that means. Race number
You have a
7.
real vendetta against frozen tracks, man. It's the 2nd day in a row.
Well, I think it's important to look at horses that don't show up on frozen tracks.
I love the fact that they use the distinction up there.
Well, they used to have this. Well, we don't run on a frozen track. We
Right.
would cancel. So I remember the Meadowlands would have frozen tracks.
They'd have heavy too.
Yeah, I mean, we don't. But what really needs to be done, if this game wants to wake up and stop pretending it's 1970, they need to have a new designation of how we designate turf courses, especially in New York, where for 8 months of the year, we're running over 50% of our races, more than 50% of races on the turf, and yet we're still at a place where 85 to 90% of the time we label it one condition, fast or firm, and then we go to good, which we run on a small amount, and yielding to soft almost never, and heavy, once every 3 years when, grade 1 in the rain. Stop it. We need to have designations, and we used to at least have hard, but now we can't tell people the horses it's hard, because God forbid it's a hard turf course or something, but we do need to have different designations.
I agree.
And if this industry is going to continue to pretend that these things aren't going on, it's embarrassing.
And it's
frankly.
bad information. Like
It's misinformation.
It's misinformation.
We need to, and we need to do it, and we need to be the leader in that,
When
because we're the
those-
leader in turf racing.
When those horses are going
I'm knocking us.
when 35-2 Lifes are going 7 flat in turf sprints,
And
7 and
it
1.
confuses people
Yeah,
that
it's
don't
very
understand
confusing.
that turf
Yes.
races are much faster than dirt races. Now, it's up to the players and fans to learn those things and realize, when they go
But giving
21
them
and 2, it's
giving
not
them
that
bad
fast.
information is not going to help them learn.
Well, not at least telling them that this is an extremely firm course, I mean, there's things that people should understand implicitly, but at the very least, we should be doing our part. And there should be it should no longer be it should be firm 1, firm 2, firm 3, whatever
Or
it is.
good to firm to good.
Get them out there.
Yeah,
No,
right.
firm, nah, that's baloney, that European stuff. That's different because their courses are much different because don't forget, they run under conditions. I mean,
But
they
we would-
water the courses. At Arc Day, at Longshot, they're either with fire hoses on the course. I mean, it's wacky. Anyway, race number 7, a big scratch in this race. You've got Cousin Andrew on top.
I scratched into him. I like Blinding Light today. Yeah, Cousin Andrew, he has built to last in here. He has Tenbury in here. I think he has enough speed. Look, and he shows up. He doesn't always win. There's a lot of second and third. Half of his career he's finished second and third. But he shows up and he's consistent at a level where he might not win, but he always comes with his always brings his lunch pail and gets the job done in some way, shape, or form.
I have nothing but love for
I know you
the
do.
horse Cousin Andrew and the human Cousin Andrew, a wonderful man. And I agree with you. He shows up, he runs his races, and he's very logical. He got a great ride last time by Kendrick. But I agree. He's a super logical horse. I've got him second, and I have nothing against him. It's funny about Tenebras. Do you know what the some players' knock on Tenebris is going to be against Major Spirit? You probably didn't notice this. And the only reason I really noticed it was because of the time form ratings.
Major Spin? No, I don't. What was it? What's
He ran a lot better, in my opinion, than Major Spin did last time. Major Spin was giving him 3 pounds last time, and now with the Apprentice, it's an 11-pound swing,
switch.
right?
Wow. Yeah.
He's going from getting 3 to giving 8. Now, I'm not a weight guy, and here's the race.
Me either.
But if you believe it all in weight, even in a sprint,
You must
is-
include this.
this
As
is
11 pounds is
reasonably
huge.
noticeable.
You don't see it.
I don't
you
really
see
care that
anymore.
much, and obviously I don't because I picked Tenebris. The reason I like Tenebris, I don't think the rail was the place to be, and this horse was game as could be down the inside. And I know you like the winner this day, but he was very, very fortunate.
Yeah, I was fortunate.
And Tenebris, I thought, ran very, very well, so I've got him on top. But I don't have a knock on Cousin Andrew. I'm going to use mostly those two. You know, with Built to Last, and as Tom Morley just texted me, they should use the going stick here. And that's yes, I agree. We should do whatever we do. We should do something differently than we're doing, and something. I think this is the time for it to become a discussion here at NYRA, because it's not turf racing now, but we need to be the leader in this, and we need to be the track. And we're running all these turf races. We obviously believe in the importance of turf races here. We're promoting turf racing. We need to stop pretending that 85% of our races are run in the exact same condition. It's just not fair to bettors. And we talk about trying to educate new bettors. You certainly need to do it in that way. As far as Built to Last, for the 3 people out there that don't know, this horse disqualified for purse money, which was why Tom Morley had served a suspension a couple months ago. I think it was a butte overage. And came back and showed that it wasn't a butte overage.
Yeah.
He got the horse to win, by the way, last time. And to be fair, I don't particularly like this horse, and neither do you. But this horse did run a race last time that could win. And there's a chance this horse is the main speed here. I wouldn't discount this horse completely. Now, I don't know how much the track is going to be drying during the day. It's a nice day out, and it's a lot more windy than yesterday. Yesterday, by the way, and you knew this because of the fog, was 4-mile-an-hour wind for the whole day. You never, ever see 4. I do the track trends every day. So I look at wind more than anybody probably, or as much as anybody. And believe me, 13 is probably around the average. 4 is Saratoga in August.
Right.
It's
Yeah,
you
just
never
know
see
there
you
was
never see that
nothing
here.
moving yesterday.
Never ever see that. Race number 8 coming up, which has a lot of scratches and scratch down. We'll look at Amundsen and Stage Left. And in this race, Amundsen had a huge pace advantage. It's 2 back for him when he beat Nova Rags. And he was fortunate to win. Nova Rags probably best. And Stage Left didn't benefit from an unaggressive ride. But isn't Amundsen completely loose again?
I would imagine he is.
Who's going to run with him?
Well, Milton and Monster found some speed last time.
Not really, but he's not going to run with him.
And Stage Left's not as fast. Yeah, the problem with Amundsen is I don't know the 7/8. I mean,
I don't know.
he got loose. He never made the lead last time.
Well, the thing with Amundsen is, and I'm not a big entry guy, but he's got an entry mate who's the second likeliest winner, if not the likeliest winner in Kinetic Sky. I ran a big fig last time and has run other big races. And we'll look at Kinetic Sky beating Nabokov. It was a big race last time. I don't know where it came from. This was a very big race. And I think if he runs this race, he's going to win regardless of what Amundsen does in here. And I don't like to pick entries, but I think they're likely to run 1-2.
Okay.
I just don't. I mean, I don't, listen, you know how I feel about entries, but this is one where I just don't, I don't see the scenario. And you know I love Stage Left, but Stage Left was very fortunate last time, and I made a big bet on him last time. But he was extremely fortunate in there, and a good heady ride by Eric. But you had the horse who ran second, stumbling at the start and having a tougher trip, and you had the horse who was a heavy favorite, who was the Speed, who fell to his face in the start in that race. I don't see them beating both of these. I don't know where you're going with Chestertown.
I'm just hoping he's
Hold off on that for a sec. Go ahead.
Hold on.
No, forget it. Go ahead.
He's off the layoff. He's going to 7. I think. See, I know where you're coming from with Kinetic Sky. I don't trust Amundsen, and I think Amundsen in here kind of helps Chestertown work out a right kind of trip.
By being Lone Speed?
Well,
you like the Lone Speed set stuff for the closer?
I tell you one thing I also like. Yeah, I like the fact that the field, and I picked the horse at the field of 7. I like the fact that the field scratched down.
There's definitely 2 less horses for him to beat.
It makes a
He might
horse
have beaten one
who
of
could
them,
be
too.
a little bit goofy sometimes.
He's not goofy. He's just Chestertown. It's a 3-to-1 second choice.
No. He can be a little goofy. He's the 3-to-1 third choice, Andy. Stage Left is shorter than him.
Good luck to him. For what it's worth, Toby Sheets, the Asmussen horses at Belmont and Aqueduct, over the last 5 years, we can show the stat. Off these kind of layoffs, 5 to 9 months, 0 for 12 with 3 hitting the board. No success with those horses at all. Good luck. You've always liked this horse more than I have. I don't get him at all. Race number 9.
Finale.
Look at BC Glory Days running off last time. So BC Glory Days with Maddie Oliver
Was almost her first winner.
Is this Fenway? Is this Fenway Part 2?
This was her. She won the race after this.
No, but I'm saying.
And then people thought that she was home Jerome here, and it certainly looked that way.
But this was the same thing that happened with Fenway.
Yep.
He ran off. Now, he cut back to 6 furlongs. This one isn't, but he did show life last time. He's far from impossible here.
He showed life. He showed the ultimate life. That was his best fig last time out. Yeah. Definitely a player in here.
Who'd you pick?
I went to Cash in a Flash. I'm
Rob
starting the
Atras.
Atras train. Yeah.
Horse has no chance on paper, so that makes him a candidate to win for Rob. I mean,
Dropping back, third off the left. Listen, I know.
This horse is ridiculous.
Yeah.
This horse is, I've got the worst third. I'm not letting Rob Atras beat me. He's winning with horses that can't win on paper, so I'm going to use his horse. And if anybody thinks that Laughter could win on paper, they didn't look at the race that carefully.
I thought you were all over Lynn Cash on top of me. It's almost one of the reasons I almost didn't put him second. Look, you'd be all over 9s. We both have the horse second.
Well, I got to put that guy in there. He won with a horse ran like a wildebeest the other day. His horses have been very live here. They're sort of indiscriminately live. Problem with this horse is he's 1 for 19.
Right. Well, they're 1 for 21, 1 for 13,
No,
1
I
for
know.
19.
My feeling with Bourbon's Hope is not going to love him. He's also not going to be 8 to 1. I would take half of that. Here's Bourbon's Hope's race 2 back. He runs his race 2 back. He's winning here. He got hounded by a horse that finished nowhere. Eric Insel went in a mission against him. And listen, I'm not knocking him. I knock Eric when he's not aggressive. I'm not going to knock him being aggressive. But in that case, he absolutely buried Bourbon's Hope.
Yes, he did.
And allowed Jay Stalker to beat him. I don't know what happened last time, but he's back in for Linda. He was over his head last time. He's running where he ran this race, and I think he stalks on the outside. He's obviously not the main speed in this race, but he can stalk on the outside, and I thought he's put him on top. But I'm going to use 3 and 9 because I'm not letting those trainers beat me. I'm the same as you.
3, 9, 10, 11 for me. That's how I'll end the pick 6.
I will use. I'm the same as you. All right. Once again, Happy New Year to everybody. Head over to Naira Bets. Make that your New Year's resolution. Become a member of Naira Bets. Play through Naira Bets. Use the promo code MATCH200. We will match for $200 of your initial deposit. We have the Pick 6 carryover mandatory payout. $22,612 starts in race 4. We have the third of 3 pick 4s starting race 3, races 2, 3, and 6. And I think that brings us to America's Day at the Races. For those that are interested, we had a promotion, but it's Santa Anita canceled today.
Right.
Apparently they got crazy rain there last night. Mm-hmm. They are running tomorrow, though.
They're running. They were scheduled to run tomorrow, and they are scheduled as of now.
Well, they very
to run
intelligently,
tomorrow.
they had moved the stake to try to avoid the rain to run the turf. And I don't know if the rain will knock that off.
They ran the Joe Hernandez as the first race yesterday. Smart move. They got the whole card in because they ran the finale on the grass as well.
What's Frank Miramati going to do with a day off? Probably nothing good. He doesn't sleep.
Well, he has to work tomorrow, so
Doesn't sleep. I don't know. Frank, we're worried about you already. Anyway,
Probably
Happy
watch a
New Year to
football
Frank
game.
as well. He'll be with us in Saratoga. But Chris Griffin here with us now, and Chris will be getting ready to call the first race at New York of 2023. He'll be up with the reprise, scratch and change in just a few minutes. Best of luck to everybody.
For almost 150 years, the Saratoga name has been synonymous with the finest quality, sustainably sourced spring water available anywhere. Saratoga carries on the rich tradition of its forefathers by crafting each stunning blue glass bottle with the same attention to detail and care that has been its hallmark for generations. Visit SaratogaSpringwater.com today or ask for us by name at your local market or restaurant. Saratoga Spring Water. Make every day exquisite.